Welcome back to Rich Words Music, where today we're looking at this. It's the PJD Guitars St. John standard model. Now, PJD Guitars are a UK-based company who've been around since the year 2010. However, they really sort of exploded onto the public consciousness in the year 2021, when you started to see them popping up in renowned dealers across the world, and they also made a very successful breakout appearance at Henning Pauli's 42 Gear Street 3 event. That's where I first came across the brand. I met their representative Jens. We did a very in-depth video about the brand PJD. We played their different models, we went through their history and their philosophies, and you can watch that video elsewhere on my channel. It's actually taken me basically a whole year to get my hands on a PJD St. John to actually do a dedicated video here, so I'm very excited to look at this one. Now, as I said, this is the St. John standard, so it's actually the most affordable of the three St. John models that you can buy. At time of filming, it's the end of August 2022, this guitar currently costs £1,950 British pounds, so that's over 2,000 euros, so very much an exclusive boutique guitar and exactly what you'd expect from a made in the UK instrument. However, if you wanted to go even more exclusive, you could go for the St. John Limited Edition and the St. John Elite Editions. More info on both of those at the PJD website, which I'll link for you guys down in the description. So what we're going to do in this video then is I'm going to tell you about the specs and the features of the St. John Standard, then we're going to play it in as many different musical styles and genres as I can, and at the very end I think I'll tell you whether I think it's going to be worth your money at the end of the day, so stick around for that. First then, those specifications. So the St. John Standard has an ash body and an ash top, and it's chambered as well. You can actually choose, if you order one of these guitars directly from PJD, if you'd like to have an F-hole or not. This guitar obviously doesn't have an F-hole. Now, this specific instrument is finished in what PJD refer to as midnight black. It's a satin finish, finished in nitrocellulose lacquer, and we've got a beautiful tortoiseshell scratch plate here as well, and the pickup ring here is also tortoiseshell, which I think is a pretty cool touch. In terms of the rest of the body then, we have two pickups, a neck P90 and a bridge humbucker. The pickups are made by Cream T, which is another UK-based company that actually works quite closely with PJD as well, and they supply these P90 pickups specifically for PJD. The bridge humbucker here though is a Cream T Eliminator, which is their classically voiced rock PAF style of humbucker. We have two knobs here, a master volume and a master tone control, and a three-way switch. Now here we have a Goto hardtail bridge. Inside here the electronics are CTS and Switchcraft, so the best that you could expect. And if I flip the body around here, you'll see that we've got a pretty decent neck access here via this sort of sculpted heel joint, and the body overall is slightly smaller than that you'd expect from a traditional Fender offset style of guitar. Moving up to the neck of the St. John then, and we have this beautiful roasted maple neck and fingerboard. We've got 22 frets on this guitar, and they are Jescar frets. They are actually sized to be narrow, tall style. If I flip it over, you can see the back of the neck there. The neck shape is a really nice C shape. It's kind of medium, tending towards the slightly chunky. I find it very, very comfortable. It's got a satin finish as well. 25.5-inch scale length on the neck, a 42mm tusk nut. And if I move us up to the headstock there, you'll see that it again looks fairly similar to a Fender Telecaster style headstock. And on the back, we have 6-in-line Goto tuners. So that is the PJD St. John standard model, and what we're going to do now is play it. So my rig for today is going to be my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 amp head, and we'll start on the amps clean channel. We'll do some folk and some country and some classic-y sort of blues stuff. After that, I'll kick in my Greer Lightspeed overdrive pedal, and we'll play some of my favorite styles of music, indie and classic rock, and this is the kind of guitar that you'd really hope excels at that style of music. After that, we'll go to the amps lead channel, and we'll do some harder rock and some punk rock as well, I think. And at the very end, it's back to the amps clean channel, and I will kick in my Rev G3 distortion pedal. We'll tune the St. John down to drop D and see if it can do a bit of metal and a bit of hardcore chuggery. Enough talk then, it's the PJD Guitars St. John standard model. Let's play it now, and we'll speak in more detail about it afterwards. Okay then, so that was the PJD Guitars St. John standard model, and I hope you enjoyed the playing and the tones. What I'm going to do now then is give you a little bit more detail on my thoughts and my opinions on the guitar, having had it at home and played it fairly extensively over the past couple of weeks. So my first impressions on the guitar then, they were very, very good, I have to say. Now, you open the PJD hard case, which is actually a Hiscox, made in the UK case as well, continuing that made in Britain theme, and this thing just jumps out of you, and it really made me kind of gasp almost at how nice it looks. I like black guitars. Blue guitars are normally my favorite, but satin black is very, very cool indeed. I love the offset shape. I love the fact that it has a more diminutive body than a Fender offset would have, and I think that the tortoiseshell scratch guard and pickup ring here and the roasted maple neck juxtapose themselves fantastically with the body, so it's brilliant aesthetically for me. Really, really nice to look at. Then I picked it up and I was really happy at how it weighed and how it felt in the hand. So the weight of this guitar, bear in mind that it's a chambered ash body as well, is 3.4 kilograms. That's 7 pounds and 8 ounces for you Americans watching this. It's not a super light guitar, it's not a super heavy guitar either. It's very, very comfortable indeed, and it feels great whether you're sat in a chair or standing up and playing it. And of course, because it's a chambered body as well, it rings very nicely when you play it acoustically, so that's pretty cool. Makes it great for noodling on the sofa if that's your kind of thing as well. So really, really inspirational in that sense. And again, as soon as I got my hands on the neck, I realized this is a profile that I can really dig. I love that nitro satin finish. The frets and the setup felt great right from the off, and I was good to go. And at that point, I decided to plug in and start playing a little bit more seriously. And by playing the guitar a little bit more, obviously you start to notice more and more about it. And the one thing that then caught my eye even more about the looks of the guitar is the ash grain on this guitar. It's got a satin finish, as you can see. You can really feel the grain on the front and the back of the body, and I've shown you a few close-ups during this video, but it's really, really a lovely instrument to behold, so I noticed that straight away as well. The guitar felt great from the first moment that I plugged it in and started playing it. Again, everything had been set up perfectly. The workmanship is immaculate all over the guitar. Can't find any flaws to speak of whatsoever anywhere on it, and there is a meticulously checked checklist that you get in the case with these guitars, just so you know that someone from PJD has personally and by hand gone through every facet of the instrument before it comes out to you, the customer. So in terms of the build quality, absolutely fantastic, and in terms of the playability as well, I was really, really pleasantly surprised by it. Like I said, this is a slightly smaller offset body than you would get from a Fender, so it's really, really comfortable, sits really well on a strap or on your lap if you're sat down to play. You've got this really nice extra access neck heel at the back there, so that's really good if you go up to the dusty end of the fretboard too. In terms of the playability, the neck is just a dream for me. It's sort of a one-size-fits-all neck profile in terms of size, and one thing I didn't mention in the specs at the start is that the fingerboard radius of this guitar moves from 10 inches to 12 inches as you snake your way up the neck. So that's what Fender would refer to as a compound radius, where it changes throughout the length of the scale. This is something that you don't really notice as you're playing, but all I can say is that I find this guitar super comfy from the first fret all the way to the 22nd as well. So in terms of playability and in terms of build quality, nothing but great things to say about the St. John Standard, as of course it should be for the price that you're paying for it. And the other crucial aspect to discuss with this guitar is of course the sounds. How do those cream tea pickups sound? Well, you've heard the sound samples, so let me know down in the comments what you think of them. But I was blown away by the clarity and the sweetness of this guitar. Across all three pickup settings, no matter how much dirt I had in my signal, I could hear every note of every complex or not so complex chord that I was playing. So I love the cream tea eliminator humbucker. I love the cream tea specifically designed PJD P90 in the neck there. They're both fantastic pickups, and I can't say enough good things about them. When it came to classic cleans with that neck P90 and that bridge humbucker, you've got access to everything. I even got some funky stuff going on in the in-between sort of a setting, but on the bridge we did some nice strummed chords, we got some country twang out of the guitar almost, and when we were on the neck P90 we got all of those lovely classic P90 sounds. Perfect for indie, perfect for folk as well, an amazing clean guitar. Once we kicked in the Greer Lightspeed though, that is my personal natural territory as an indie rock and a classic rock sort of a player, and this guitar excelled in those situations too. Beefy classic rock humbucker tones on the bridge humbucker, beautiful raw indie sounds on the neck P90, and everything in between, and it did all of it fantastically. Now, The cream T eliminator in the bridge here is a classically voiced humbucker, but when we went up to higher gain stuff as well, I really thought it did a great job too. It did the hard rock and the punk stuff really, really well indeed, and even the metal was not a problem for it. Now, if you're going to be buying a guitar just to play metal on, I don't think you'd be buying one with a classically voiced humbucker. You can do it with this guitar, no problem, but you'd probably end up picking a more active or a more higher output, hotter humbucker for that. But you can basically do everything with this instrument. That's all I can say about it. Now, the one tiny little negative that I just want to mention when it came to the sounds is that when you flick to the in-between setting and have the P90 and the humbucker on together, I did perceive a significant drop in volume. Not too much of an issue if you're playing at home, but if you're on a gig and you want to switch between the two, you'll probably want to boost these two settings to have the same volume between the three different sounds. And if you do, the sound of the P90 and the humbucker together is beautiful. You've got that throaty mid-range honk of the P90 mixed with the bite of the humbucker. It's a really, really cool sound. So overall in the sounds department's exceptional. I really, really love the St. John Standard for the tones. In conclusion then, well, you can probably guess what my conclusion is going to be about this guitar. I absolutely love it. Now, when I first got my hands on PJD instruments back in 2021, I loved all of them. You've got the offset St. John, you've got the LP-esque Carey, and you've got the Strat type Woodford. They all played and sounded fantastic when I got them back last year, and this St. John Standard on my home rig is just exceptional. I really, really love this guitar, and I'm not being paid to say that either, and I'm not getting to keep this guitar either, which is a very, very sad state of affairs. Perhaps they'll sell it to me at a decent price though, who knows. Anyway, who should buy the PJD Guitars St. John Standard? Well, I would say that if you're into your offsets, if you're into your Fender type guitars and you want something just a little bit different, maybe something a little bit more exclusive, something in cool colors, something where you can choose a few more custom choices without paying full-on custom shop prices, the St. John is going to be ideal. Similarly, if you want something built in the UK, PJD Guitars are now the biggest UK-based guitar builder, so you can't really go wrong in that regard. And you can actually go on the PJD website and you can kind of customize the builds to an extent. There are 6 or 7 different colors of the St. John Standard. You can choose the F-hole or no F-hole. And if you go to the different models as well, the Elite and the Limited, you can pick from different wood types, you can pick from different pickup types, and so on and so on. So it's really sort of a custom shop at slightly under custom shop prices. And in terms of quality, again, for £2,000, you would expect the very best, and that's what you get. You know, I've had a couple of other luthier-built guitars here on the Rich Words Music channel. I had the Tonfuchsdyna, which is an exceptional instrument in every way, and I had the Torsten Hans Lightweight Rocket, which is also an exceptional guitar in every way. And this guitar, the St. John Standard, sort of completes the trifecta for me of these exquisite luthier-built guitars. I normally feature much more affordable guitars on my channel, and when I do occasionally get the chance to play one like this, you do really see that there is a difference. You know, there is a law of diminishing returns when you get to price versus value versus quality, but you pay that much more for something which just feels, smells, and sounds like something which is a cut above your standard everyday type of guitar. Of course, for £2,000, for over $2,000 or euros, you can get pretty much anything you want. You can get used custom Fenders, you can get decent Gibsons. The world's your oyster for that kind of money. So for £2,000, if you've got this kind of money burning a hole in your pocket, there's a whole lot more that you can look at. But I would heartily recommend that you check out PJD. Go and try and find a local dealer to you who may have their guitars in stock, because this is really, genuinely one of the best guitars that I have ever had the fortune of playing, and I have no qualms in saying that, and I have no qualms in recommending it to anybody who might be interested in it. The St. John Standard is a pure win for me. I really, really love it. I hope then that this video has given you a bit more information about this instrument and answered any of the questions that you may have had. But if there's anything else that you want to know, watch the other video that I did with PJD themselves that answers more questions about the brand, and feel free to drop me any questions down there in the comments and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. And if you're still here, it would make my day if you'd give the video a like, or even subscribe to the Rich Words Music channel, where there's plenty more videos about guitars, amps, pedals, and musical gear, just like the St. John. That's been it for today's video though. I've been Rich for Rich Words Music, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.